The connection between what we eat and how we sleep is deeper than most people realize. Our bodies operate on a circadian rhythm, an internal clock that responds to environmental cues like light, temperature, and yes, food. What you consume before bed can have a dramatic impact on your sleep architecture, influencing everything from melatonin production to REM cycles and the overall quality of rest. For years, the focus of sleep hygiene has been on light exposure, bedroom temperature, and bedtime routines. But increasingly, scientists are turning their attention to nutrition as a critical piece of the wellness puzzle. The emerging field of chrononutrition, how meal timing and composition align with our body clocks, offers promising insights into why some people wake up refreshed and others feel groggy no matter how long they sleep. Let's start with melatonin, the hormone responsible for signaling sleep. Melatonin levels rise in the evening, preparing the body for rest. However, these levels can be affected by food, particularly those rich in tryptophan, an amino acid that serves as a precursor to serotonin and eventually melatonin. Turkey, dairy, oats, and seeds all contribute to tryptophan availability. But it's not just about what you eat, it's when you eat it. Having a tryptophan-rich snack about 1 to 2 hours before bed may promote a smoother melatonin transition. On the other hand, eating too late or choosing the wrong types of foods can disrupt melatonin production. High-fat or spicy meals, for instance, require more digestive effort and may raise core body temperature, both of which can delay the onset of sleep. Late-night eating, especially large meals, can confuse the body's circadian signals, tricking it into thinking it's still daytime. Blood sugar also plays a major role. Foods that cause a rapid spike in glucose, like sweets, refined carbs, or heavy desserts, can lead to fluctuations in insulin and cortisol, both of which negatively impact melatonin. Cortisol, often called the stress hormone, is supposed to be low at night. But if your snack causes a spike, you may feel jittery or restless instead of calm and sleepy. Conversely, low glycemic options like nuts, yogurt, or a small banana with almond butter provide more stable energy and support healthy hormone cycles. Beyond melatonin, there's REM sleep, the stage associated with dreaming, memory consolidation, and emotional regulation. Certain nutrients, such as magnesium, vitamin B6, and omega-3 fatty acids, are crucial for optimal REM activity. Magnesium, found in dark chocolate, pumpkin seeds, and leafy greens, helps relax muscles and reduce nighttime awakenings. B6, present in bananas and fortified cereals, assists in serotonin conversion. Omega-3s from walnuts or fatty fish help reduce inflammation and support neurotransmitter function. A deficiency in these nutrients doesn't just affect your body, it alters your dreams, mood, and cognitive performance the next day. Sleep isn't just about shutting down, it's about what happens during those hours. Deep sleep is when the brain clears waste through the glymphatic system, repairs neurons, and files memories. Skimping on REM or deep sleep, even if you get the same number of hours, leads to diminished focus, higher stress levels, and impaired metabolism. That's where food can either help or hurt. Consuming a protein-rich dinner may support deeper sleep stages, while a carb-heavy meal may lead to more time spent in light sleep. But this isn't about avoiding carbs altogether. Complex carbohydrates like brown rice or sweet potatoes support serotonin production and help tryptophan cross the blood-brain barrier, facilitating the transition to sleep. It's a balancing act. Timing matters too. Intermittent fasting has become popular for weight management, but overly long fasting windows that push dinner too early or too late may interfere with natural melatonin rhythms. Research suggests that the ideal window for your last meal is around 3 hours before bedtime. This gives your body time to digest without activating nighttime alertness. However, if you're someone who wakes up hungry or has trouble falling asleep, a small nutrient-dense snack might be a better choice than going to bed on an empty stomach. For example, Greek yogurt with a drizzle of honey or a small handful of pistachios provides protein, healthy fats, and sleep-supportive minerals. Ultimately, sleep and eating are not separate domains. They're part of the same regulatory system that governs health, recovery, and performance. By approaching nighttime nutrition with intention, you unlock one of the most overlooked tools for improving not just your sleep, but your entire life quality. One of the most fascinating aspects of the sleep-eating connection is how your gut communicates with your brain through what's known as the gut-brain axis. This bidirectional pathway involves complex hormonal, neural, and immune signals, and plays a critical role in regulating both digestion and sleep. Your gut produces around 90% of the body's serotonin, a neurotransmitter that not only boosts mood but also serves as a precursor to melatonin. Therefore, a healthy gut directly supports better sleep. What impacts gut health the most? Fiber, probiotics, and anti-inflammatory foods. Eating fermented foods like kefir, kimchi, or miso before bed isn't just a trend, it's science-backed. These foods support the balance of good bacteria in the gut, which in turn enhances serotonin production and stabilizes the body's nighttime rhythms. Even a fiber-rich dinner of lentils, quinoa, or steamed vegetables can make a noticeable difference in how deeply you sleep and how refreshed you feel the next morning. In contrast, ultra-processed foods, those high in refined sugars, additives, and trans fats, disrupt gut flora and trigger inflammation, which can cascade into sleep disturbances and even chronic insomnia over time. Cortisol levels tend to spike when inflammation is present, increasing the likelihood of nighttime wake-ups or difficulty falling asleep. Another hormone that plays into this equation is insulin. Normally, insulin sensitivity should be lower at night, which is why the body isn't well equipped to deal with high-sugar meals before bed. But when you eat sugary or heavy meals late at night, the insulin response becomes exaggerated, often causing a blood sugar crash a few hours later that can wake you from a deep sleep. That's why midnight snacks like ice cream or cookies may feel comforting but end up sabotaging your rest. It's also important to consider caffeine and alcohol. While not foods per se, they are widely consumed substances that have profound effects on sleep. Caffeine, even when consumed 6 hours before bed, can delay sleep onset and reduce deep sleep stages. Many people think a glass of wine helps them relax, but alcohol interferes with REM cycles and increases the chances of fragmented sleep. It suppresses melatonin production and disrupts your body's thermoregulation, often causing night sweats or early wake-ups. Even so-called sleep aids in the form of nighttime teas or supplements must be chosen wisely. Some herbal teas like chamomile or valerian root have modest sedative effects and can support relaxation, but sugar-laden sleep drinks or gummies may do more harm than good due to additives and blood sugar impact. The key is knowing what works for your body. Not everyone responds the same way to food cues. Genetics, stress levels, and existing health conditions all play a role. Someone with acid reflux, for instance, may need to avoid certain nighttime snacks entirely, while someone with hypoglycemia may benefit from a small dose of complex carbs to prevent overnight glucose drops. Listening to your body's signals and tracking patterns over time is more effective than blindly following one-size-fits-all advice. Sleep trackers and food journals can reveal correlations between what you eat and how you sleep. Did you wake up groggy after a late pizza night? Did a banana and nut butter snack help you fall asleep faster? These observations are more than anecdotal. They're data points you can use to optimize your routine. Another layer to consider is hydration. Dehydration can lead to dry mouth, leg cramps, or early morning headaches that interfere with sleep continuity. But drinking too much water too close to bedtime can cause nocturia, frequent urination during the night. The solution is to hydrate consistently throughout the day and taper off in the evening. Herbal teas that are caffeine-free and low in sugar can be a gentle way to wind down without overstimulating the bladder. Finally, the psychological element of nighttime eating matters too. Many people eat before bed not out of hunger but due to stress, boredom, or emotional triggers. Mindless snacking in front of a screen not only introduces unnecessary calories but also confuses the body's hunger and satiety signals. Practicing mindfulness around food, eating slowly, without distractions, and only when truly hungry, supports not just digestion but mental calm, which is a vital precondition for restful sleep. In essence, evening nutrition is not just about biological fuel. It's a signal to your body and brain that it's time to unwind, recover, and reset. When approached thoughtfully, your last meal or snack of the day can serve as a bridge into a deeper, more restorative sleep. This in turn affects your energy, metabolism, and decision-making the following day, creating a powerful feedback loop of wellness. As we dive deeper into the relationship between food and sleep, it's important to understand that not all macronutrients affect sleep the same way. Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats each have unique impacts on hormones and digestion that influence how your body transitions into rest. Carbohydrates, especially complex ones, are particularly useful for initiating sleep. They raise insulin slightly, which in turn makes tryptophan more available in the brain, an essential step in melatonin synthesis. A small serving of oatmeal, sweet potato, or whole grain toast in the evening can gently raise blood sugar just enough to help you wind down without causing a spike that disrupts your circadian rhythm. Protein is more nuanced. While a high-protein diet is excellent for muscle maintenance and metabolic health, too much protein too close to bedtime may actually increase alertness due to the amino acid tyrosine, which boosts dopamine and norepinephrine levels. However, moderate amounts of protein, especially when paired with complex carbs, can enhance serotonin production and stabilize blood sugar overnight. Think of a few slices of turkey with brown rice or cottage cheese with berries as ideal combinations. Fats, especially the healthy kind from sources like avocado, nuts, and olive oil, have a dual role. They help slow digestion and provide a feeling of satiety, preventing hunger-related wake-ups. But large quantities of fat right before bed, particularly saturated or fried fats, can delay gastric emptying and increase the risk of acid reflux, especially if you lie down too soon after eating. Therefore, timing and portion size are critical. A handful of walnuts or a small slice of avocado toast can be sleep supportive, while a greasy burger or large serving of cheese might have the opposite effect. There's also a growing interest in how micronutrients like zinc, iron, and calcium contribute to restful sleep. Zinc, found in pumpkin seeds and shellfish, plays a role in neurotransmitter function and may enhance sleep duration. Iron deficiency is linked to restless leg syndrome, a condition that can seriously disrupt sleep. Leafy greens, legumes, and red meat are iron-rich options that can support restful nights. Calcium is another key player. It helps the brain convert tryptophan into melatonin and is found in dairy products, fortified plant milks, and green vegetables. Even the humble banana, often underestimated, packs a powerful sleep-friendly punch. It contains magnesium, potassium, vitamin B6, and carbohydrates, all of which contribute to better sleep. Having one an hour before bed can help relax muscles, balance blood pressure, and support melatonin production. Pairing it with a tablespoon of nut butter creates a well-rounded, nutrient-dense snack that satisfies without overwhelming your digestive system. Another important but less discussed topic is how sleep deprivation itself can alter appetite hormones. Poor sleep reduces leptin, the hormone that tells you you're full, and increases ghrelin, the hormone that makes you hungry, creating a vicious cycle. When you don't sleep well, you're more likely to crave high-calorie, sugary foods the next day, which further disrupts blood sugar and digestion, making it harder to sleep again that night. This feedback loop can lead to weight gain, insulin resistance, and even chronic sleep disorders if not managed. Therefore, improving nighttime nutrition is not just about sleeping better tonight. It's a long-term investment in breaking that cycle. There's also the emotional component of food as comfort. Many people struggle with revenge bedtime procrastination, staying up late to reclaim personal time and often snacking during that window. These habits tend to include high-sugar or high-salt snacks that stimulate dopamine temporarily but wreak havoc on sleep cycles. Replacing that habit with a calming ritual like a warm, unsweetened tea, a short walk, or journaling, paired with a light snack, can satisfy both the emotional and physiological needs without throwing your system off balance. In practical terms, creating a nighttime eating routine doesn't have to be complicated. Set a kitchen curfew about 3 hours before bed. Prepare a small, balanced snack only if you're genuinely hungry. Prioritize foods that are whole, minimally processed, and rich in sleep-supportive nutrients. Dim the lights during your last meal to signal to your body that bedtime is approaching. Avoid screens and bright lighting, which can inhibit melatonin. Instead, use the mealtime as an opportunity to wind down, be mindful, and prepare both your gut and brain for rest. Ultimately, the connection between food and sleep isn't just a matter of avoiding caffeine or cutting out snacks. It's about creating harmony between your body's need for nutrients and its natural biological rhythms. Treat your pre-sleep nutrition as part of your wellness practice, and over time you'll likely notice improvements not only in how you sleep, but also in your mood, energy, and even how you age. As more research illuminates the biological relationship between food and sleep, the future of wellness is beginning to shift toward a more integrated model, one where sleep is no longer seen as separate from nutrition, but as deeply influenced by it. This evolving view introduces the idea of circadian-friendly diets that align with your body's natural hormonal cycles. These diets emphasize not only what you eat, but when and how you eat it. Just as you wouldn't drink a double espresso before bed, you also shouldn't ignore how that late-night slice of cake or leftover pasta affects your cortisol rhythm and REM cycles. We are rhythmic beings, designed to eat, sleep, move, and think in harmony with the rising and setting of the sun. Disrupting one part of that rhythm, especially through late-night eating, throws the whole system off balance. This is particularly relevant in today's environment, where artificial lighting, endless screen exposure, and erratic eating patterns keep our circadian systems confused and overwhelmed. When your eating patterns clash with your internal clock, it leads to a misalignment known as social jet lag, where your biological time differs from your behavioral schedule. This misalignment is linked to everything from weight gain and mood disorders to poor sleep quality. But by syncing your meals with your natural light-dark cycles, eating larger meals earlier in the day and lighter meals at night, you can reinforce your circadian cues and help your body produce melatonin more efficiently. Another layer to this discussion is the role of chronotypes. Not everyone's body clock operates the same. Some people are naturally night owls while others are early risers. Understanding your chronotype can help you tailor your meal and sleep schedules for optimal recovery. For example, someone with a late chronotype might benefit from a slightly delayed dinner, but still at least 2 hours before bed, while an early bird might need to wrap up eating earlier in the evening. One-size-fits-all approaches often fail to recognize these subtle yet significant differences in physiology. Personalized nutrition and sleep tracking technologies, like wearable devices and apps, are making it easier than ever to identify how your individual body responds to certain foods and patterns. These tools can reveal patterns in blood glucose, heart rate variability, and REM cycles, allowing you to make more informed choices about what to eat and when to eat it. It turns your evening snack from a habit into a strategy. Moreover, culture and tradition offer surprising wisdom. Many ancient dietary practices already align with what modern science is now confirming. In Ayurveda, for example, the evening meal is meant to be light and easy to digest, ideally taken before sunset. In Mediterranean cultures, meals often include herbs like mint, fennel, or chamomile, all of which have mild sedative effects. These traditions, rooted in thousands of years of observation, emphasize foods that support relaxation and digestion, laying a natural foundation for better sleep. Even mindful eating practices, like chewing slowly, expressing gratitude, and avoiding screens during meals, help the parasympathetic nervous system engage, shifting the body from fight or flight into rest and digest. This state is a prerequisite for both good digestion and restful sleep. When you eat too quickly or while distracted, you often stay in a state of low-grade stress that inhibits melatonin release and reduces the quality of your sleep. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of ritual. Creating a calming food-related ritual can psychologically prepare your mind for rest. This might be a warm mug of herbal tea, a small bowl of tart cherries, one of the few natural sources of melatonin, or a few slices of kiwi, which have been shown in studies to increase sleep duration and quality. These simple, consistent actions help build associations between eating and sleeping, reducing stress and reinforcing a sense of safety, both essential ingredients for high-quality sleep. In conclusion, the sleep-eating connection is not just a niche wellness trend, it's a fundamental biological reality. How you nourish your body in the final hours of the day has a ripple effect that touches everything from your hormone balance and immune system to your cognitive function and emotional health. As we begin to recognize food as a powerful form of medicine, not only for physical health but also for recovery and rejuvenation, the path toward truly holistic wellness becomes clearer. Sleep better by eating smarter. Let your plate support your pillow. And remember, your last bite of the day can be just as important as your first step in the morning.